Hi, Soul Family. So this morning, normally I get up and I've got a lot of messages. This morning, I got up and was told to just be. There's so much clearing. Wow, that's smoke on this, really. There's so much clearing. We're all going through like this purge of starting to understand why everything happened the way that it did, to feel like everything's going to start working. Like the old illusions are starting to just slip away. So, like today, I just feel that we're all going through this huge shift, and they want us to sit with our inner self. Like this morning, like I've got up and, like I said, normally I've got my book and I'm writing all these messages. But this morning, it's not about that. It's about you truly, like, really embracing who you are, because you have come a very long way, and they're wanting you to acknowledge today just how far that you've actually come, because a few years ago you'd never thought that you'd have got this far in doing what you're doing. And you truly are a beautiful soul, and I'm so grateful that I get to be able to connect with you. Like, this is, it's a really nice feeling too, because again, myself, I never thought that I'd be able to sit here and do this. I was so fearful of it all, and now I feel that I'm connecting with the ones, who've gone through the exact same things as me, that we're all here to help each other, and I feel like we're building a community. So I feel that today it's about really acknowledging yourself, not acknowledging, like, just for one day, not acknowledging everything that's been and gone, not thinking about what could be in the future. It's just truly embracing today who you are as a soul, as a person, and just really giving yourself that space to be grateful, that you really have done really amazing. And what a beautiful feeling to know that you never gave up. So I am going to pull a couple of messages from here, because I feel that we need, like, some reassurance on that, because our past doesn't define who we are anymore. Right, so we've got 6 of water. I'm going to read these in a second. I'm just open. And again, as always, I'm going to read from the book. So we've got 5 of air, 6 of water, Ace of fire. And at the bottom of the deck we have the sun. So I'm going to read what these say, because so Ace of fire. Okay. So we have spirit-powered action, inspired, transformation, access to co-creative power. When I feel my connection to spirit, I see unlimited potential for transformation. There is no reason to fear, because I am supported fully in imagining something new and daring to make it happen. This is a time to dream big. I can be bold and free, because spirit inspires me to turn my dreams into reality. See, I've woke up this morning and my eyes are, see again, the smoke. See, my eyes have felt like blurry, like everything just seems like it's, like reading this here. I don't know if it's the lighting. Well, it's not lighting, because I've always got the same lighting, but it just feels like the words are just jumping all over the place. So I think that we're all going through, or we're going to start going through this, just like everything's changing. Like I say, I feel like we're all going to start feeling the weight lifting. There's new energy coming in. Say, this is not normally smoke, is this? I don't understand why it's a smoky. So, yeah, we're starting to feel like everything's starting to fall into place. When we actually have, like really sit and think to ourselves what we've actually come through, it's just like I said, you're feeling that connection to spirit now. You are feeling who you truly are. You're feeling like now anything's possible. Or you're going to start feeling like anything's possible. So we've got 6 of water. So we have nostalgia, sweet memories, old flames, yearning for the security of the good old days. If I am being triggered to remember the past, I can enjoy the warm memories, but most recognise that they are inferior. Emotions can Emotions can colour my recall and distort my understanding of what is happening today. I acknowledge and heal old wounds. I can experience security today, enveloped in the arms of the divine love. There is no need to return to the illusion of a golden era of yore, because I can begin co-creating a better reality right now. Authentic healing and joyfulness will be mine if I stop rekindling the emotions of the past. So yeah, this is all about like truly knowing who you are and where you've been. But not in the sense of, this destroying me, because like just recently, when I first started this channel, right, all I wanted to do was to be really positive, but then obviously all the energies came through, but these were the energies that people needed to hear. And I remember thinking like, I don't want to keep really pulling everyone back to what's actually gone, rather to be positive about what's to come. And I remember sat with Spirit the other day, and I was saying like, it's okay to acknowledge where we've been and what we've been through, but it's that keeps us. Every time we hear what happened to us when we was younger, we're constantly being dragged back into the feeling of, that happened to me, and then we start to feel the sadness of it again. And I mean, because we already generally live through that, or we have been living through that on a day-to-day basis, and it can feel quite raw and tough. But Spirit was saying, no, it was an acknowledgement. Because all you've wanted is for people to acknowledge where you've been, because it's been a journey that people didn't acknowledge where you've been. And you felt like that you really wanted your story to be heard. But what Spirit's saying now, what story do you want to bring forward now? Get co-creative with Spirit, because you and God are one. God is in all, in everything. So what do you want? Like, because I think the more that we focus on what's been and gone, that we can't change, the more that we live that experience, because it's what we think about the most. So this is why I was like, I want to be able to spread positive messages. Like I want to be able to let people know, because can you see this? She's, whether you're male or female, she's holding herself, she's embracing herself, and she's holding on to all the hurt. And, now we're healing. Because can you see this way? It's all coming away now. The pain, it's all starting to dissipate, it's starting to be released. Because then we've got the Ace of Fire. This is about co-creation now with Spirit. This is about you finding that inner strength now. You finding, the knowing of where you've been, and the drive that you've had throughout all of this. Because what you have gone through has been, you know, It's been a lot. So you are ready to release that now. Spirit saying it's time for you to now start co-creating with Spirit. Because the next one is, this is now where you start to dance with light and Spirit is lifting you. Because you have all of Spirit lifting and raising you now. This is where you get to really put down and start co-creating. Okay, so we have conflict is a good way to see my motives and intentions. I can use the experience to grow into a more authentic version of myself. It's not important to win, it's important to have integrity. Other people have different ways of thinking and may not always be in agreement with me. I open to this opportunity to live and let live. This is where Spirit wants you now to start dancing with life. What is going to get you excited? This is Spirit acknowledging that everything that you've been through, and Spirit saying that they've been there with you the whole time. But this is now where you get to create the authentic version of you, the one that you truly want to live without feeling that others are going to judge. This is you having an experience now of, yes, this has been in my life, and, it's who's built you to who you are today. But you've cleansed, you're protecting yourself now, you've allowed these energies to fall away. You're asking to be shown now. And Spirit's saying that it's okay now to have different ways of thinking. Spirit wants you to be in agreement with Spirit that you now want to experience something that you've never experienced before. You've had little snippets of it. But this is where Spirit's saying now you're in the fruition. You're standing strong in your power. You will start feeling fulfilled. You're going to be having achievements. You're going to be finding that fire in your soul. And for that, you're going to be rewarded. It says, I am connected to the divine and open to guidance. Spirit's really asking you now to, like, my blood is pure, vital, flowing in divine order. This is where you now are receiving the acknowledgement. This is where that is really, really strong today. You are really, really stepping into the trueness of who you are. Oh, sorry, this one. The most vital one I missed. So we have. It says, at this time, everything is possible and everything I need to know is illuminated. Projects come to fruition, relationships flourish, and my growth is assured. This is a time of plenty. It's important that I share this abundance with others. I am deeply grateful. Yeah, because they're saying, this is what they were saying, that you're coming into fruition because you've been standing strong. Everything that you need to know is going to be illuminated. You are standing in your power. This is a time of plenty for you. It's important that you share this abundance with others, because this is why you've been blessed, because this is what you've always wanted to do. You've always wanted to help others. And it says, I am truly grateful. Because this is where divine's saying, my blood is pure, vital, flowing in divine order. This has been divine timing. I am connected to divine and open to guidance. You are being truly grounded now. I am grounded and secure in my being. This is where you now have brought ancient vows and contracts that your soul made before you even came here. They had an expiry date. This is now where you get to truly bask in the sun. This is where you help others to truly bask in the sun. This is where you're going to be bringing hope. You are sharing your story. You are going to influence so many people, as above, so below. You are truly inspiring those. And by inspiring others, you're inspiring yourself. This is where you come into hope. This is where you're coming into alignment. This is where you are truly start, yeah, because you made that decision. You made a decision. You took back who you was. You called truths. You know, you started to finish your fears. You didn't know which path you didn't know what you was doing was going to work out, but you chose to go through the fear. You chose to allow the illusion to not hold you stuck any longer, because where you'd been was only causing hurt. You decided that you wanted something new. Yeah. Through patience, you've been working on yourself. You've been creating you've been working on a project that um, you've been wanting to bring forward. Spirit's saying this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time for you now, because you've been hardworking. Your communication, you've been there, your dedication. This is where connections is going to start forming. This is where you're building, and this is what's going to bring in your fruition. This is what's going to bring in, you know, the abundance that you wish fulfillment, because you've been having patience. Yeah, look, wish fulfillment. Just as I said that came out. You've been working so hard. All your wish fulfillments are coming in because, you started to learn, you started dancing with life again. You started to choose to dance with life again. And because you made that choice, you had the patience, you made a decision, or you're going to be making a decision. This is where you, like I said, truly get to bask in the sun. This is where all your fulfillment, your fruition, because you're releasing your dreams now, you're co-creating with spirit. This is where you now are truly going to, really start working on your crafts. This is where you are really starting to bring forward what it is that you need to bring forward. All the hard work that you have been putting in for quite some time is going to start working out. Because it takes time at first until spirits see that you're truly committed, and then that's when it starts to come forward. As to the meeting, please, spirit. Thank you. Yeah. You in connection with divine, and the divine's going to be bringing in something that, we've often dreamed, of having the perfect love, having the perfect, and this is because you started to have love for self. You started to truly have the patience. You've made decisions. You've been really working on yourself. This is what wishes are coming true, because you've started to realize who you truly are. And this is either that you've been calling in love for self. Maybe, like I say, you've been really like calling in, I want, this is how I want love to be. This is what I want in life. And Spirit saying that when you finally acknowledged all that, this is going to be something coming in that's completely divine sent. You are going to, like I say, the romance, the desires are going to be so strong. This is going to be somebody who's equally yoked. This is just going to be so truly powerful. Yeah. From whatever it is that you're working on, you are going to be recognized. You're going to be seen. You are starting to be seen. People are going to see you for who you truly are, not from what others have, or what yourself thought that you was at one point, because of everything that's been and gone. This is where Spirit's saying now that you are being recognized because you took that leap. You've been having patience for yourself. You've been starting to do the inner work, starting to understand yourself. You've been going on looking for knowledge. You've been, your self-awareness has been, the one thing that's coming online. This is where you have literally really started to truly see yourself who you are. Trust my intuition and my inner wisdom. This is you now getting on board and truly getting ready for something amazing coming in. that's going to be out of this world. Get ready, you're going into high levels of awareness through embracing your life lessons, expansion. Yeah, this is what Source is saying, like, you're really going through a phase of your life now where, because you stayed true to you, despite everything that's gone on, you have been staying true to you. And this is where Spirit's saying now they want you to really, truly get inspired. Seek knowledge. Because this is come under, dance with life, get excited again. Fulfillment, that's through seeking knowledge. You've been seeking knowledge, even if it's watching these videos, that's seeking knowledge. You could have been doing research, you've been asking questions, you've been wanting to know. There's a part of you that's holding back. Have faith in yourself. You're perfectly on time. Let go. Yeah. Because this is you truly accepting and acknowledging who you are now. And this is why, see, again, because it's coming under the sun, because you're acknowledging who you are, you're truly in that embrace of really recognizing and feeling love for self. And then you've got the lovers. This is where you have been truly, you've made major choices. And then you've got, there's a part of you that's holding back. Have faith in yourself. You're perfectly on time. Let go. Call in your tribe. You are not alone. What nourishes you? Because this is what they want to know. What actually nourishes you? What do you really, truly want to bring in? Because this is a time where you're co-creating with divine. God's saying, what is it that really inspires you? And hold that feeling. Because it's that excitement. Because when we're in the past a lot, we feel that pain of the past, and that holds us captive. And Divine's saying now, take time to look within. What are you wanting from others? Mirror this back to yourself. You have a powerful voice. Time to shine. So this is where you're seeking the knowledge. You've been in preparation of something, and because of the decision that you made, and the patience that you've been working on self, working on your craft. This, like I say, is what's bringing in your fulfillment. This is what's bringing in your happy ever after. It's time to take the next step on your path or begin a new journey. Perhaps a change in your direction or lifestyle is needed. My little boy's had my card, so he's drawn a little picture on there. Bless him. But yeah, this is, like I said, it's time to take the next step on your path or begin a new journey. Self-awareness, understand your inner needs and true feelings. Who have you always believed that you are? What is your story? What is it that you want to bring forth now? Because Spirit's saying now, this is the time that you truly get inspired. This is the time now that you're inspiring others. Get the fuck. That's clarified double. This is about you truly now picking what you want to bring forward. Because this one's about now you've been doing all that work. You have been really creative. You've been really sat wondering, would this bring me everything that I've been wanting? And Spirit's saying, because of all that now, you are now getting to pick the fruits of your tree. This is you now going to be able to truly see now why everything happened the way that it happened, because this is in your peaceful state now, because you started to trust your intuition, you started to seek your inner wisdom, you started to come online again. This is where, that, because this is the same, this is where you have a powerful voice. You've been seeking knowledge, that knowledge that you have been seeking. Look, I can't even make it up. This is coming through now because you took that leap of faith. You literally made a decision. You decided that, where you was, you wasn't going anywhere but round and round in the same circles, and you made that decision now, and through you making that decision, this is where because this has just come out like just boom boom just like that. This is where I didn't say that one. 10 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. This is where everything now is coming to you so perfectly on time. You have worked so hard. You can now sit back and truly be inspired, and this is you in pure gratitude, or you will be in pure gratitude. Clarify the others and the sun. Yeah. You have found your zen. You are into powerful mode. This is where you going into your inner sanctuary, because this clarified. This is you truly in your phase of just true love. This is what's coming in. This is what's, once you realise that there's parts of you that you have been holding back, have faith in yourself. This is what's coming in. This is what's truly, and this is because you walked away from something. You decided to walk away. You was not allowing anything to hold you back anymore. You truly took back your power. You are not trapped in that illusion anymore. You are gladly willing to walk away from the cups that you believed was the cups that you needed, was the cups that was going to bring you fulfillment, and you took that leap of faith now. Yeah, this is where divine, you gave to yourself. This is where you was giving to your inner child. This is where you start to love your the path that you've been on. And, this is where you truly now understand that, this is now where you are building your family. This is where the soul connections are going to be coming in. This is where divine connections are coming in. They want you to call in your tribe. You're not alone. What nourishes you? Take time to look within. What are you wanting from others? Mirror this back to self. So this is now, you, like I said, this is about you now mirroring back to self. This is about you really, truly being inspired now with moving forward. Yeah, because you've ended the cycles. The nightmares are now going to disappear. Everything now is going to start. This is a new beginning. This is a new cycle. You are no longer in the nightmare. You are now resting. You are now in the knowing that everything's fine. You have, like I said, this is where you'd normally, like the 9 of Swords is normally where you've got all the swords in your back and you're like, oh, I can't do this anymore. And this is the resting period. This is you now come out. This is the ending of the mental torture, And again, 10 of Cups. This has been clarified now. This has all been clarified as in this is what you have coming in for you. This is about you and your loved ones now are safe. This is about you truly protected. Your emotions now are, you've completed ended of cycles, renewal, success. This is where everything's coming into fruition for you. This is where you now are rewriting your own story. This is now where you take the pen and paper now and you truly rewrite your own story. Spirit is it's just so like, you've got so many like ancestors and guides and, then spirit behind you cheering you on. And maybe you've felt this, maybe you've, like I say, you've come out of times where you just didn't think you was going to come out of it, but then you did and you like look back, wow. That's because you had your spirit and your guides protecting you. You are protected at this time. You've always been protected. If you pay close attention, you will notice all the doors that once closed are opening up, just in different form. Things may not appear exactly as you had envisioned. Yeah, because I said that at the beginning. What you was wishing for is going to come in ways that you could never have even imagined. What's coming in for you is far beyond anything. Like, it's out of this world. This is God sent. You are going to know that this is God sent. You have done, like I said, that this is through decisions that you've made because you started to trust in your intuition. It's time to shine. It's time to shine. It's time to get excited. Self-awareness is key. Take time today to go within and spend time with your soul. Go for a walk in nature and ground yourself. Meditate. Listen to your favourite music. Whatever you enjoy the most, do today. Yeah, because this is what they're wanting you to do. They're really wanting you to really, because it's time to take the next step. This is the self-awareness is key. This is where you now are truly going to bask in the absolute beauty of what's coming in. This is about you now. Whatever meditation means to you, it could be just going for a walk. Whatever that is to you, is what your soul is seeking right now. And then everything's just going to start making perfect sense. This is because, your self-awareness. Okay, so we've got everything turns to light. I work to improve myself, embrace all that life brings to me, and transform darkness into light. I allow myself to grow and become stronger. This is you. Like I said, this is the sun card. This is you turning everything into light. Gratitude. I am aware of the light in my life. I direct my thoughts to the beauty in and around me. I give thanks to God for every little thing that brings me joy. Thus, I enlighten my thoughts. Riches surround me, and I appreciate all that life brings me. So this is what Spirit wants you now to be getting excited. Like I said, this is about you, getting excited, getting ready. Because you're going into high levels of awareness. This is where your soul's truly coming on. And Spirit really wants you to see just how far that you've actually come. Recognition of who you are. Your desired outcome will occur in the very near future. Have patience and faith, and don't try to force it to happen. Because this is coming in. But when it comes in, this is going to be far greater than you could have ever imagined. This is about you truly embracing who you are, seeking the knowledge, staying restrained, not allowing others, you have a powerful voice. They want you to seek the knowledge, call in your tribe. It's time to take the next step on your path or begin a new journey. This is about you having patience, having patience for the desired outcome because you're working on doing that. You've made the decision. This is you trusting your intuition and your inner wisdom now. This is about you being in gratitude for how far that you've come. Being in gratitude that you made it this far. That you never gave up no matter what life threw at you. You took that leap of faith. You truly believed. Creative project. Your soul longs to express itself in creative ways. We're guiding you to infuse artistry and creativity into your life. Creative expression makes you feel alive and excited, reignites passion towards your life. Yeah, this is you, like I said, this is about you seeking what it is, because it's creative passions. This is you working on something. Once you start to trust your intuition, this is where all this is going to start falling into place. Have confidence. Have confidence in who you are, Have that self-awareness of who you are. Your soul tribe is going to be coming in. You are going to be completely inspired by something that, you've been thinking about for quite some time but haven't actually come against because it's the confidence, but now you're standing strong. Spirit's saying, this is now where you embrace who you truly are. This is where you get excited, open, say yes, yes, expand through the extremes, trust life. Yeah, this is where you're open to receive, you're trusting in your intuition. You made that decision, it's time to shine. You have a powerful voice. This is about you being creative now. This is about you embracing yourself and you becoming the sun baby and shine, you know, the sun. And it's time to shine. You have a powerful voice. Time to shine. I really hope this helped. Um, you know, I have trust and faith in everything that you're doing, and I'm just so grateful if you got this far. I'd like to send my love with you and hope you have a wonderful day.